Welcome to All in the Words, the podcast for writers and story makers in all their forms. Each fortnight we explore a different corner of the writing world, from stage to screen, audio to novels, lyrics to scripts. With original pieces, creative conversations and toolkits for your process. Lee here, and in this episode we're digging into monologues. What are they? A brief history and a few hints and tips on how to write them. All to come in this episode of All in the Words. So, one of the big things we'll be doing in this podcast is lifting words off the page and hearing them come to life as monologues. But before we get into that, let's take a step back. What actually is a monologue? Where did it come from? And maybe more importantly, how can we use it today without making it sound like a clunky info dump? So, a quick history trip. Don't worry, no pop quiz at the end. Now, monologues go all the way back to ancient Greece, 5th century BC. Imagine sitting in an amphitheatre and the very first thing you hear is one character stepping forward, giving you the whole backstory of what's about to go down. Then, as the play rolls on, heroes and gods pour out their rage, their grief, their philosophies, all in big, powerful speeches. The Romans kept the tradition going. They'd use long speeches for moral lessons, or in comedies, so characters could let you, the audience, in on the sneaky plan. Almost like an ancient version of breaking the fourth wall. In the Middle Ages, it was all about direct address, characters stepping out and speaking right to the crowd, sometimes to preach, sometimes to tempt you into sin, bit of heaven, bit of hell, all in one show. And then, Shakespeare. You probably already thought of him the second I said the word monologue. To be or not to be? Is this a dagger I see before me? Now is the winter of our discontent. Those lines stick because they let us peek inside the character's head. Total game changer. Now, quick question for you. What's your favourite Shakespeare monologue? Everyone's got one, even if they don't realise it. By the 19th century, theatre was shifting again. Monologues got more natural, more poetic, more personal. They became passionate expressions of individuality, or a way to critique society, sometimes while sounding like everyday speech. Then in the 20th century, boom! Beckett, Tennessee Williams, Arthur Miller, Brecht, they all left their mark. And let's not forget performance poetry and spoken word, which shook things up even further. Fast forward to today, and the monologue has splintered into loads of different forms. It might be a raw confessional, a full one-person play, a verbatim piece built from interviews, or a mashup of all of the above. But no matter the style, one thing's the same. The human voice is front and centre. So, here's a thought for you. Have you ever written a monologue? Or maybe performed one? What did it feel like? Confessional? Exposing? Or did it feel like pure storytelling power? Let's talk about how to actually use monologues in modern writing. They're great for slipping in exposition, but, warning lights here, if the audience feels like you're spoon-feeding them information, they'll just check out. Instead, hide that exposition inside conflict or what's really at stake. They can also be game changers, revealing something crucial to the audience, or even steering the whole direction of the story. They can act as a bridge between time and place, or become that big show-stopping centerpiece moment. And if you're writing one, here are a few quick tips. First, why now? What makes the character speak in this exact moment? Even if they're talking about the past, what's happening in the present to push it out of them? Second, give it shape. A beginning, a middle, an end. Hookers, take us somewhere, then land the plane. Third, write in the character's real voice. Authenticity is what keeps us locked in. Fourth, subtext, subtext, subtext. Give the audience the joy of connecting the dots themselves. They'll thank you for it. And finally, remember, a monologue is written to be performed, so leave space for the actor. Build in pauses, shifts in pace, emotional beats. Give them room to act. So, here's your takeaway. Monologues aren't just a writing exercise. They're one of the best tools we have for storytelling. Context is everything. But whether you use them to reveal, to connect, to shock, or to entertain, just keep writing them. Because the more you do, the sharper they'll get. Maybe after this episode, try writing a short one yourself. Doesn't matter if it's a page, a paragraph, or just a few lines. I mean, who knows? Your next monologue could be the one that sticks in someone's mind. Thanks for joining me on this episode of All in the Words. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate and share, and join the conversation over on the All in the Words Instagram profile. You can find any links and episode extras on the podcast website, allinthewords.podbean.com. Until next time, keep writing, because it's not just craft, it's all in the words.